start the recording and do this live because I think it's funny. I'm gonna look up some holes pictures and I'm gonna put them in the black areas of our screen so it looks more interesting.
Ooh.
Ooh, you're right.
Very
Ooh,
nice.
indeed.
Fancy.
Just look up some images of young Shia LaBeouf.
Mm. That shouldn't be hard to find.
Oh God, here's him with the fucking ponytail and a braid.
Oh my
That's-
god, you need to find the one of him with the cast from Freaks and Geeks. It's so cute.
So I found this image that I will save. And then I have found this. Oh God, that is not flattering. That is not at all flattering. Oh, come on. You can get me some more here, can't you? Okay. Those two images will do. And then I just learned how to do this too. Add image. Browse. Pictures. Oh yeah. There she is. And then another. Put this guy down here. Add. Image. Browse. And where's my other one? Where's my other little Shia? Come on, Shia, where are you? There you are. Okay. Size it down. Lovely. That looks incredible. You guys can't see this, but it's okay. You don't need to. Hi, how's it going? Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Yeah. Having a good day? Feeling it?
Alright so far. Yeah.
Well, that's friggin' dandy. Hi. My name's
Hello.
Mason, and I am the owner of Shia's. It's nice to meet you.
The owner of Shia's.
Choices.
Aubrey, are you gonna introduce yourself?
Oh. And I'm your favorite, lovable, sometimes empty-headed co-host, Aubrey.
And welcome to What Are We Talking About? Today we've got ourselves a guest.
Well, I'm the guest. My name is the guest.
Your name is the guest. Kriss. And
Yeah, that.
she's
I'm the guest.
You're a guest, you're Kriss, and you're here and excited to talk to us about a movie. What movie is that, you say? Well, you may have been able to tell from the title, or my two compatriots sitting directly to the left and right of me, but today we're talking about Shia. And specifically, we are talking about one of my now favorite movies I've seen him in, Holes.
I'm glad it's your favorite.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot with him in it, but I mean, it definitely is now, for sure. So yeah. We're doing another movie review. It has been... It's been an interesting one. I mean, I guess if you follow my Twitter or like the YouTube or anything, you'd know that we actually already had recorded this one before, but you know, we didn't really talk about holes in the way that we were really trying to like get into the hole, you know? We just the hole just didn't line up correctly, so we're having another go at it. But you know, I'm really excited about that cuz I'm just feeling so much more ready this time. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
Yes. Same.
All right then. I guess should we just jump right into it? Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know, Well, I'll start it from my perspective because I'm the one here who hasn't seen it before. We decided that this movie was important to watch because it is one that I have never seen, including many, many other Disney films. I have never seen Holes. Honestly, High School Musical was the only thing that I have seen. It's honest. It's disappointing. It's truly.
That is really disappointing.
Yeah, you're breaking my heart.
And I'm realizing like the extent to how disappointing that is now because, mother of God, this movie Holes, this shit's got something to say. Like for being a Disney original film, this movie has actually got like a message and some progressive vibes to it. And I mean those progressive vibes are why we especially wanted to make sure that we gave this movie its proper, I guess, a proper what's the word? Summarization, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And on top of it, you know, we're trying something new. We got a new system that we're going with this time as well.
Right.
But to start us out, I mean, I've got my list of notes here, but I mean, is there anything that y'all wanted to start out with?
Well, I guess for me, one of the biggest things I like about this movie is the like through line of all the different stories. Like we're not just seeing the story of Stanley Yelnats the Fourth. We're also seeing the story of Stanley Yelnats, his great grandfather, and then his great great grandfather Elliot Yelnats.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to see three men of the same family and their own like story of turmoil and struggle.
No, I gotta say, like, it's a really interesting setup at the beginning to just throw it in with the main character going, yeah, my family's cursed with insanely bad luck. Because, you know, you expect it to either go in one of two ways. Either he just perceives it that way, or he does actually have really bad luck and he's going to find some way to fix it at some point in the film. You don't really have a lot of movies starting off with the main character being like, yeah, my life sucks and it's because of my great-great-grandfather. It's like the first thing he says.
I think that's a super common trend. That...
Yeah.
Oh, but I guess like what I really like to ask you guys, now that I'm thinking about it, like, Aubrey, you have obsessed over this movie for years and years and years now. I guess I have a question for you. Like, what does this movie mean to you?
Oh, we're throwing out those kind of questions now. What does this
movie
mean to me?
Indeed.
Indeed, the gauntlet has been thrown. Tell me about your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's just like seeing how... This is going to sound stupid, but how woke of a movie Disney Channel would make for it coming out in 2003. Like, this movie has an interracial relationship. It covers racism. It covers female empowerment, female mistreatment. Like, it has so much jam-packed into one story, but it all works. Like, it doesn't feel like half-assed.
Oh, yeah, and this is 2003, folks. Disney Channel exclusive 2003.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they got the go-ahead to make this film, to be honest with you. Like, I'm kind of surprised.
That's honestly part of the reason that I love it so much, is because of the amount of diversity and various points that there is, and that, yeah, it came out. It's such a time that was not really like the thing, especially not for Disney Channel at all.
Oh, it stands out for sure, and I mean it's got a young Shia in it too, and I feel like everybody around our age kind of latched on to most everything that he did.
Yeah.
What about you, Kriss? How do you feel about this movie that you have also seen way more than me?
I have always had great appreciation for for one, young Shia alone, because he's just such a good actor. And then the soundtrack that they picked was great. And
Oh my
then,
god,
yeah,
yeah.
like Aubrey said, the various different things that they talk about that was not really the thing to be talked about then. And I appreciate so much that in like a subtle but obvious, also somewhat obvious way, they got across good points to younger people, and we didn't even realize we were soaking up these good things.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
right. And I wish I would have been a part of it. Seriously, I feel like I
Well, you are
culturally
now, and
yeah, you know what, you're right. Well, you know, it could have done me a little bit extra good at the time. I can definitely tell you I probably needed it, knowing how old I was. Ugh. We all live and grow. That's part of
mm-hmm,
life. What's
mm-hmm.
more important is that I'm aware of my previous mistakes. But, not to get stuck on that though, I, I think the thing that I really wanted to go into, I want to talk about a couple of these notes that I've written down during the film. Especially this one right here, when you mentioned the soundtrack. Why is Shaggy here? They got freaking Shaggy to. Was it original content? Did they may have original content in it, or was it all like pre?
I think
pre
those were just songs chosen that
hmm.
came out around the time. I don't think that any of them were written for the movie other than Dig It by the D10 Boys.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Which
No, they all of these were songs that were already in existence. Yes, except for Dig It.
okay. Yeah, which I mean
Keeping
that's
It
funny that
Real,
you
by the
say
way,
that.
is the name of the Shaggy song. Keeping It
Oh.
Real.
I'll have to look that up. That's why a Shaggy song? I guess the only Shaggy song I think of. I mean, I'm sure he's known for more than just it. Is being part of the song when you're singing about how you're trying not to get caught for adultery. And to put that in a Disney, I mean, I guess like I said, you must be known for other stuff than that. But like, wild pull for holes,
I,
guys.
listen, I still know him as he didn't do it. That's okay. All I know is Shaggy didn't fucking do it.
It wasn't him. He didn't do it.
It wasn't him.
Wasn't on about that shit. He was out of town. He was busy. Um. Ooh. You know what was one other thing that we did not get to mention at all that I really wanted to bring up? The overprevalence of peaches in this film.
They really, really love their peaches. Like,
They really did be loving their
and now that
peaches.
peaches is the booty emoji. Like,
It's been the boot. Here's what I learned from this film. The peach has been the booty emoji since before I was even a speckle in my father's eye. Because there is a flashback scene to some old fucking dudes hitting on, I think it was Kate, the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Catherine.
Catherine.
Miss Catherine who teaches at the school.
But they were talking about her, and one of them said specifically, "These peaches are the work of an angel." And I'm like, holy shit. This is a
they knew what they were
peachy
talking
rated
about.
film. I mean, that's
They knew
why
what they
they
were
said
saying.
peaches.
They said it.
They did be saying it. They really did. But and then not only that, I'm pretty sure she makes peach cobbler. Like they make peach related pies throughout the film too, don't they? Someone makes a peach pie, right?
Maybe it was like Stanley's mom. I want to say was making something,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and then also the sploosh at the end of the movie ended
Yes.
up being peach and onion.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Sploosh.
I'm still stuck on the whole. Where the fuck did the word sploosh come from?
It's just one of those words. Like, you know, everybody's got one word inside of them that is a new, unused, like, they came up with that word, and it really just depends on your ability to, like, insert that into society in some way.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
mean,
guess
our friend William, he's got a couple of them. Swip. Um,
Whip.
Boyime. I think that's probably like a twist on something else. But at least Swip, he's coined that term, and I'm worried that it's going to be in the dictionary someday. Because
What exactly does this SWIP word mean?
Swip, bro.
Swip the tip.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. Is it what we're talking about?
I don't know. I don't. Is this how all slang words come about?
You
You
know,
just don't know. And then they just start like becoming their own thing, all on their own. They gain a life.
I mean, the word yeet. The word
I mean, listen, I started saying that ironically, and now I say it for real, and it pains me because I don't even notice it.
I think I probably started on the irony train with yeet, but I'm gonna be honest, it just feels too good to yell something whenever you're like throwing or like doing something with great force, and
You know,
the word fits too well.
I didn't used to understand the grunting and groaning when you were playing sports, but I do now. I get it. Like, yeet has made me understand.
I cannot tell you how much grunting and groaning I do whenever I'm just sitting at my computer, and it's because of it.
Because you're a dad, you're like a grandpa.
I do make dad and grandpa noises whenever I stand up and sit down. It's a common knowledge thing.
I think me and Jeff have determined that we're both grandparents now. He grunts every time he moves, and I have to like always be wearing some granny slippers now.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you guys. I'll hit you with a. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, it's been a day, hasn't it? Ooh. Yeah.
We should also talk about how fine of a lady and how dedicated and absolutely lucky Stanley's dad is to have his mother.
Dude, right? This man's for those of you who have not seen the film, and this is where like this getting into this theory that I feel about the luck thing, and you know how assumption of bad luck may possibly be more so
If
of a
anybody got
placebo
bad luck,
effect.
it was that lady. Okay.
It was Stanley's mom that had the bad luck for sure. Stanley the fourth,
Yeah.
sorry, because they're all named Stanley.
Yeah.
This lady puts up with her husband even though his lifelong career he has decided to get rid of the existence of smelly feet or smelly shoes per se. He wants to create a formula to rid the world of smelling shoes.
Just some spray deodorant in the shoe.
And for some reason, this man's does not have any sort of work area, so he just does this shit on their kitchen stove, boiling shoes and God knows what. And
let's also talk about how this is a very small apartment with too many bodies in it, yet again.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Disney loves to do.
And on top of that, like you hear something from the landlord of the mom saying, "Yo, we keep getting complaints. They're going to evict us because everyone is so sick of the smell in the building." But still she persists. Still she's around. She doesn't have the family's bad luck. Why does she deal? I guess, you know.
Honestly, like there's got to be something. Like
But no, can we be real though? I really feel like of all the people who made their own bad luck in that family, it's really the dad. Like, you didn't have to make that your life's passion. You didn't have to make
really
getting rid of
honestly.
smelly
Like
shoes.
you could have got.
That didn't have to be your choice.
I mean, not to say real job, but like you could have literally done anything else.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, we all have our own passions. I'm going out of my way to do this, aren't I? We're doing
But
we're
at
doing
least
stuff.
it doesn't stink.
At least
your wife won't want to leave because you smell like feet.
At least I won't get evicted from my apartment for talking about a movie. You know?
Right.
For sure.
I picked a considerate career in a way. Depends on who I'm being considerate to, I guess. Who we're talking about. Because if it's Aubrey, I don't know.
Oh man, you know what?
But if it's to my neighbors, fuck, I could be one of the Scream streamers. I could be taking it so much further.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on from that, something else I really wanted to talk about in this film, is actually about said bad luck. Because I know if you've seen this film, you know what the whole like through line is with that. But they, I feel like they did a really good job of starting this film off on like predicating the note, I have bad luck. It's because of my family, because it really, I mean, this kid's being sent to a detention Dr. Phil style camp for unrelated reasons, but in the end, it like there is this insane through line with so many of the different characters. It's so juicy in the way that it wraps itself up. Like you don't see that nowadays. Everybody's so focused on making sequels that they never get through. They never like create like a full bubble thought, like a through line for their characters. You know.
I can agree with that. I feel like Holes is one of those very few movies that got it right the first time and did a great job.
Yeah.
Right. Cause there's the Yelnats, the Stanley spelled backwards, and they've got their whole thing going on with their great grandfather and him stealing / giving up on a girl, which we'll get to in a minute. But then we've got like the Zeronis, who were intrinsically connected to the Yelnats, that like managed to make the fucking like Zappelli style appearance halfway through the film, which I honestly, that shit blew me away more than anything else that they like brought that back, because I genuinely thought like that was going to end at the curse, and then I didn't know what they were going to do.
And then later you find out Zero is actually short for Zeroni. And
yeah, right.
It makes sense.
And you're like, what the fuck? How did I let that stupid ass motherfucker who called him an idiot completely cloud my head on the fact that that's just straight up half of the last name? Like it's Zero with 2 letters on the end of it. But none of us have been knowing, you know, we all came in assuming like it's just Zero, you know, because he doesn't have any thoughts.
Yeah.
Because he's stupid. And that's so awful.
But at the beginning, whenever we talked to Madame Zeroni, she did say that she had a son, I think, or a nephew or something like that.
She said her son went to America.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That does say how they got over there. Is that they had already went over there and started creating a better life, and so she was like, bruh, you trying to get up out of here, then going over there to America.
Yeah.
So your great-great-grandson can figure out the way to get rid of shoe smell.
Because that's what all of this was for. All of that trouble, all of it was for the sploosh.
Speaking of all the trouble for the sploosh, I mean, you know, it's the same at the end as it is at the beginning, because there's a lot of trouble for sploosh that causes the curse, and then a lot of trouble for sploosh that ends the curse, if we want to put it in that way.
This is true.
It's all about the sploosh. The whole movie is just all centered around the sploosh.
It's all about peaches and sploosh.
Yeah.
PG rated film, by the way.
PG rated, but all about that.
So the fact that Zero had the nerve to even break that jar open and drink that stuff and then give it a name and say it was good is wild.
I mean, to be fair, if you are dying of dehydration in a desert and you do not intend on going back, you know, I would probably have tried it too, but like, Mans breaks the top of a glass jar open and then just like shoves the broken glass into his mouth and drinks that shit. How the hell did that kid not swallow broken glass?
That's we just don't talk about those little details because they don't we was kids when we seen it, so we weren't supposed to be thinking about all that.
All you was thinking about was drinking the sploosh. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
Honestly, I was like, how is this kid not drunk off his ass? Is peaches sitting and fermenting not very similar to grapes sitting and fermenting?
No, yeah, I think the fact that it became alcoholic was probably what kept it from poisoning him. I'm
I mean,
pretty
maybe.
sure.
Maybe.
I'm not sure how the biology of that works. I was never good in my biology classes.
I mean,
so-
I guess if we're willing to put a bunch of grapes away for 30 years, we can put some sploosh away. It's fine.
God, right? Well, I mean, after a while, wine starts to taste like vinegar, right? Like, I wonder what that shit would taste like. And not only that, like, it's not kept. It's kept in like really hot and then really cold environments every single day instead of just cold.
Right.
You know, like
That is also really weird. And then during the winter, do you think it'd freeze?
oh, most likely. Well, I mean, it may even freeze just any particular night because of the desert's like makeup, there is no area, I guess, that like the warmth is kept because of all that sand. So
Right.
it honestly, I've
Can't
heard
retain
like
anything.
more people having trouble with the cold of night in the desert than they do the heat of the day. But you know, depends, I guess. Depends on your desert, I think.
Yeah. Can we talk about, since we're talking about peaches, can we talk about the like love story between Catherine and Sam?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. That's one of the things we missed, so I would love to get into that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not only
One of
is
the best love stories
Sam
ever.
so handsome and Catherine so beautiful,
Absolutely.
but the like
Absolutely.
the sexual tension between those two,
Boy.
you could cut it with a knife. But
Listen,
like,
I was a kid sensing that.
yeah, and you fall in love with them
Damn.
being in love, and you think that it's like, oh, that one guy's Trout Walker, he's just jealous that Catherine doesn't want to be with him because he's a complete and total asshole. But then, because you're a kid, you don't really necessarily know any better, and then you realize that no, they're straight up gonna kill Sam because they're racist. Like, they're so racist that they're like, we would rather kill him than let him be in love
Well, I mean,
Well,
it was just
with the
a.
most beautiful woman in the town who is in love with him back because
I
he
feel
is
like
like
it's
a true catch.
I feel like it's maybe a mixture of both that, like both. That
Yeah.
he got rejected and he's a nice guy, so how dare you reject him?
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, oh, and you're gonna reject me for a colored man? You got me fucked up. And goes out there and retaliates on it, and then at the end of it, he's still lost by I
Yeah.
don't even know what that lady was that he married, but it definitely wasn't Miss Catherine.
It was not, no. And
It
I
was
mean,
not Miss Catherine at all.
you want to know the second best way to get a girl to not like you? Be an asshole. You want to know that, like, be an asshole and sexist, but you want to know, like, the first best way to get a girl to not like you? Kill her boyfriend.
Yeah, killer boyfriend
Yeah,
with everyone else in the town, like including the sheriff. So like,
and then for the entire town to just turn their backs like they didn't see any of it is just wild.
yeah,
But at the same time, I feel like at that time there was like a couple of guys in the town that would kind of say things go this way or else.
Well,
And then
yeah.
they would be like, oh, okay, if you say so.
You're right.
yeah,
And
Well,
so
I mean,
they
I
were just
think.
like, well,
Oh,
we're going to
sorry.
kill this guy and you're going to shut the fuck up. You didn't see shit, Kate? Okay. And then the sheriff being drunk off his ass and also trying to sexually assault this girl, anyways,
God.
yeah.
Oh my God! Yes,
was
which
not
that.
going to get them anywhere at all. Like, she realized real quick that she wasn't going to win.
Well, yeah, and I mean she did something about it, but it really sucks that like what she did was probably the only thing she could have done in that time period. But what she
Oh, for
did
sure.
was fucking
It
awesome,
was
though.
super righteous for her and for women at that time and for mixed race couples. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
All
granted,
of it.
most of this, it was probably all fictional, but at the same time, you know, it was committed to film for us to see in our childhoods,
Right.
so
Right.
positively influenced in that way. But, oh, dude, yeah, whenever she goes off the deep end because of what happened to Sam, and she gets that gun, which I'm not a fan of guns, but in this
And this
case,
thing
that
turns
girl
into
needed a
straight
fucking
Carlo.
gun. But she fucking goes up to that sheriff who was trying to force a kiss out of her and was like, yo, sheriff, here's your kiss. And pah! Right in the fucking kisser. Literally.
Right, the
Ugh.
cat that ass. And thus the staple is born. The red lip.
Oh, yeah,
If
yeah,
she-
yeah.
You're dead.
She left the kiss mark on
That
the...
calling card is so good. Like,
Mhm.
that's just the red lipstick kiss is like, that's a good calling
Beautiful.
card.
It's
It's a
amazing.
calling card with a backstory.
Yeah.
And not to mention, she ran around that bitch on a horse with heels and leather the whole time.
Right.
Let's not forget that.
Ugh.
Uncomfortable as fuck. You had to know it was.
An outlaw that wears heels. That's a vibe. That is a hard
I
ass
mean,
energy that I am scared of.
She's probably part of the reason I'm not straight, because she was just like so up there.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man. Yo, what's up? How's it going, Cole?
Hi, Cole's body.
Yeah, yeah.
His torso.
Cole's giving us the Tom and Jerry, or the big Muppet babies. You can only see them from about here up, here down.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like too tall to fit on the screen, so
True.
that's how you like him. Sorry, what were we talking
Best
about?
rat. Oh, so now that we've talked about Catherine and Sam,
Mm-hmm.
that brings me to Trout Walker, the guy that got Sam killed and convinced everybody to do this horrible racist thing.
Mm-hmm.
He is the grandfather of the warden, that is the warden of Stanley's camp, Camp Green Lake, and her real name's Louise Walker. And one of my favorite scenes from it, and I forgot when we watched it that this came from this movie because it's like a meme now. They're digging the holes, and she's like, "I'm tired of this, Grandpa," and he's like, "Well, that's too damn bad." And that just that right there, it's like you fully understand why she is the way she is, because like, damn.
That's all that took. It was just that little bit like, yep, nope, that sums it up great.
You know what? I'd be a spiteful bitch too if I had to dig holes every day for character.
For character building. Yeah, no wonder she
I
started
think-
forcing other kids to do it.
Karma slapped that whole bloodline in the face 100 times over. And I'm honestly glad about it, because fuck him and really fuck all of them.
Dude,
And then-
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, speaking of her, like, we sat through most of this movie being like, this can't be legal. This camp can't be legal. And then it turns out it's not legal. And she hired an escaped convict. Well, he's not an escaped convict. He's, like, escaped off parole.
Yeah.
Marion Civilian.
Otherwise known as
Mr.
Mr.
Sir.
Sir.
Yeah. And then Mr.
They can't do
Pandan's
nothing else.
mom, he's not a real doctor. Like,
Oh, yeah.
One thing that I do want to talk about with Martin is the scene where he is drilling into Zero, asking him, does he know what DIG spells? And then Zero hits him back with a dig and slaps him across his stupid ass face with that shovel. And I love the fuck out of that.
he slaps him first and then says dig after he's conked out, like, oh, I can say it, I just didn't want to do it for you. Like,
Yeah.
no.
I love that Zero is like,
Oh.
just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I'm stupid. I still see that shit. I still know what the fuck you doing.
Right.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna get your ass.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's
But
not
anyways.
it's not his fault that he was homeless his entire life and no one ever taught him how to read. Cause like, with
He's clearly a sweet kid and
'Cause-
willing.
oh yeah,
Yes.
because with both Stanley and Monsieur Zeroni, Stanley has spends the entire movie being like, I have bad luck, I am unlucky, but then in a lot of cases it seems that he's actually a pretty lucky kid. It's just this like overhead looming curse that his family has that either does actually keep him in this state of perpetual bad luck or makes him feel like he is. And then with Zeroni, Monsieur, he like he's I guess I guess it's not with Zeroni but with the Walker family. This family is like the shitheads that caused all the like all this stuff to happen, and the ones that get the comeuppance in the end with like the grandfather, and then with the warden too. It's almost like there are these two different ideas of shitty like families that have shit luck and have shit karma, but one of them does not weigh out the other, and one of them gets better at the end because their curse that they have is not, it's just some bullshit that like their grandfather got up to, and like their the great great grandson made amends for.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like this little lie that just kind of got fed. One person believed it and just kept feeding it down, so they all sort of just lived off of it. It was like the family heirloom was the bad luck.
Oh yeah, well, and I mean, and Stanley even says it at the very beginning, like, I don't like to use that as a crutch, but it feels good to have something to blame the bad times on. Which
I mean, that's only human.
Yeah, for sure. They did have something to say about Monsieur Zeroni. With him, they start off with immediately saying that like he's stupid, he doesn't know anything because he doesn't talk. But then immediately all throughout the movie shows off that he is actually way smarter than most of the other people there.
Yeah.
And that's something I feel like you don't see. Like, there's a lot of subtlety to the way that they handled that I don't feel like I see as often anymore. I feel like everyone is so scared that someone's not going to get what they're going for that they have to literally say every single part of their theme. Like, there's nothing that can be subtext nowadays. I don't know. And if it is, it's like art house. Ugh. Oh.
I feel that.
Oh,
for sure. Well.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the themes and overarching messages of the movie Holes, the cinematic masterpiece Holes.
That I do love that there's so many things going on in Holes. There's so many other interesting things going on that we forget that there's an NBA star in Holes.
Wait, there is?
Yeah. The basketball player that they sold the sploosh thing to.
Oh yeah,
Point right there. Yep, it's the movie itself is so good that we forget that there's an actual like celebrity in there.
Oh, for sure. It's hard to remember that that's like the whole like point of like why the main character's fucked up in the first place was just like I find it so funny that they try to use sports players to be in movies so friggin' much, and I mean I guess it's just because kids idolize them and it's easy.
I guess so. It's trying to get maybe the athletes to be a little bit more,
getting themselves out there in a way,
Yeah.
Which whatever.
But like I mean nowadays like we see it much more with like wrestlers and shit, but with wrestlers it makes more sense because they are much more performers than a baseball or basketball player.
That's
they
true,
actually
they do act a lot of that shit. So
well, yeah, it's a show to put on. I mean,
I mean, I can only imagine being a basketball star. All I know is some plays, and then you try to get me to do a bunch of acting. I'm like,
right. Dribbling a ball and acting are two different ballparks, but you know what? Still excited to see Space Jam 2.
Okay, all right.
I
Now,
say
True.
it's
that's the
weird.
one basketball movie that will forever be relevant.
What?
Oh, absolutely.
What is that movie? This is, I don't know.
That movie is a whole nother podcast. That's what that
Yeah,
movie is.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if we should be bringing up a whole ass another movie
No,
on
I
the
don't think
movie
we
episode, but like, God, what is Space Jam? Like,
Space Jam is art.
It's
It is beauty.
for the time it was art. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, if it was only for the time, what is it now, Aubrey?
I mean,
Uh,
art doesn't usually become worth anything until later, right?
Fair.
Yeah.
But I want to hear what the one word thing Aubrey's gonna say here. I want to
It's
know what
hard
she
to
comes up
say.
with. Come on, give me one word. Give one word. Evoke Space Jam. It used to be art, but today it evokes blank.
Time capsule energy.
Yeah,
That's
there
a
you
lot of
go.
words. One word.
I mean, Holtz kind of does too. But maybe that's just because like it's from the era that is our childhood, so everything just has like this extra layer of nostalgia to
Well,
it.
I mean, I think both of those. One is from maybe closer to the beginning of the millennial age, and
Hmm.
one is closer towards the end of the millennial age.
Fair.
And both of them are totally time capsules. I
Mm-hmm.
feel yes, for sure. Just in
Okay.
a little bit different way, but also it's hard to think about them as being time capsules because it's like millennials are going to their 30s now.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
most of them. I guess I'm not one of them. I'm like we're the cuspy area. I'm not
Oh
sure
yeah,
about
me
you.
too. Me and Jeff are on the very end of it. We're the cusps too. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, and I'd say you're a little bit more towards like the. Because, like, Jeff's like a year older than me. I don't know how old you are, but, like, it's rude to ask
I'm
ladies our
5 days
age.
older than Jeff.
Oh, okay, shit, wow. Wow, your birthdays must be fun. How,
I
how do you
mean,
do that in a relationship where, like, both people's birthdays are at the same time? Like, what do you do?
last year we literally just kind of ignored it because we didn't really give a fuck. And
In
then
quarantine.
Caleb ate like over half of our cake. He just wouldn't stop eating cake and then made himself sick for like 2 days. So we really just kind of ignored it and had to cake sit so that Caleb wouldn't like put himself into diabetic coma.
Yeah, we're working on the whole moderation, self control stuff. It's getting
Yeah,
better.
I'd have to tell him after a little bit. I'd be like, "All right, I know you're gonna be sick in the morning if you eat a third piece of cake. So let's not do that right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Because even it would be sick as hell after that. So like, no, I couldn't do it.
I mean, hey, you grow up without like these standards of how much of something is good or not, and does someone help you out with it? Like you kind of have to figure that out for yourself. And
I totally get that though. When I find something I like, I kind of like overindulge. So I understand, especially with food specifically. I find a new favorite and I'm all about it.
oh yeah, get I actually get sick of things so quickly that I don't. I guess like I have that problem, but it manifests in a different way because I have to like keep the variety up to like a sickening degree. I
I'll
hate
tell
it.
you one thing you never get sick of: some fucking peaches.
Fuck. Especially if they were Miss Caitlin's.
Miss
Mm,
Catherine's.
Fuck.
Catherine,
Fuck.
you know Caitlin. Fuck.
I don't know what Caitlin. Who is she?
She.
Do we both say that?
I don't know
Yes.
her. Oh man.
Shit. Um. Oh, I have one other really important note that I wanted to get to that we
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about last
I
time.
almost forgot what we were talking about.
That's usually how it goes here. I used to own the most deadly lizard in the world, apparently.
Oh
Yellow
yeah.
lizard.
Well, wait, didn't you own one too at one point, Chris? Didn't you
Yeah,
say that?
a little Mikey, what the fuck did you
They're
call it?
called bearded dragons, but in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
movie, their movie name is the yellow spotted lizard.
They're
That's all they're.
super deadly and spit acid at you, and one bite can kill you almost instantly, or
Oh
something
yeah, like
of that sort. But
like
in reality, they're cute, adorable little fucking cold-blooded. They're great. They're awesome.
bearded dragons are so freaking chill. They just hang out all day, like
I
like
would love to lay in a bath of bearded dragons like they did.
right. Well, yeah, because, like, you know, a lot of, as someone who had a couple pet lizards and also was very observant of them in the wild, as I would do as a kid, most lizards, you know, they're very, like, skittish. They scream around, they jump around. They're very, mobile creatures. But bearded
Yeah,
dragons, they're
they're,
just, like, chubby little dudes that hang out. They just chill on their heat rock. You pick them
they're
up, they're
like
like, yo, what's up?
they're like lizard-shaped frogs. They
Right?
just kind of sit there.
Yo, they are like the horned frogs of lizards, aren't
Yeah,
they? They
it's just
totally are.
they're with their fat bellies.
I'm gonna tell you
And
right
I
now.
never noticed that they were the same thing until you said something, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes sense on how that they actually had lizards all around them is because they were not really harmful at all.
Bearded dragon is one of the most like animal related stimulus that is the most burned into my brain because I had, like I said, I had one for like 2 years, and he was sadly the one of the first very large sources of guilt in my life as well. Because he got real sick when my dad accidentally put a heat lamp, the bulb for the heat lamp, he replaced it with like a colored one for my sake because he was like, hey, or have it like, put like a cool color in it so you like it or something. But it turns out it did not have the proper wattage to keep him warm, and he got really sick, and we had to feed him with a syringe, like sticking like, well,
Ooh.
not with like, not like the pointy syringe, but like a baster syringe. We had to like
Hmm.
feed him, like force it into his mouth because like it was crusted shut and his eyes were.
Oh,
It was so sad. Like I,
That's so
oh my god,
terrible.
it's just like, even as a kid, like I just like could hardly interact with him for like that last bit there because like he was scared of me because he couldn't freaking see anymore. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Oh, that's
that's
now's not the time to break open that. Regardless,
Uh,
though, for all of you out there who've seen this movie and have trauma because of the yellow spotted lizard, just so you know, unless their necks get all like black and puffy like mine is, they're not mad and they're nice. Okay.
they're very chill and people friendly for the most part.
yeah.
And like honestly, a lizard bite isn't really that much anyways.
Unless it's an iguana,
I mean that's true. That is very true.
but
Don't fuck
those
around with iguanas.
but
You
those
know
things
that.
are big. So
Listen, those one guys with like things that come out can those boys. They start running after you and it's honestly scary just because they run so fast.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think I feel like that's where like a big source of like like natural human fear comes from is like whenever something's coming at you so fast you can't like
Just like,
really
oh shit.
perceive what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what's scary because I mean like I don't insects don't bug me, but insects with wings that can fly near my face scare the shit out of me. It's
Oh,
terrifying because I can't ever keep track of them. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I took a class on it and I still hate it. I thought it would help.
thought it would help, did it?
That would help, didn't. Still
Good to know. Good
terrified.
to know.
Handled like 30 dead red wasps, but still terrified of them.
That's weird.
Ew.
Oh
I
man.
just leave them alone. I just hope that if they stay in their bubble and I stay in my bubble, that things will be fine and we can coexist and it's fine.
See, you usually can get that, but with wasps, they're just the
They're
assholes of nature.
invasive. They're
They don't
really
care. They don't care
they're
if you're
hanging out here just busting through holes and shit.
right, like fucking up all of our shit, and then being the ones out there like, nah, No, I know you're not putting out any negative vibes here, but I'm trying to fuck you up, bro. Who wants that? Who needs that? Let's just get
I'm
rid
just
of
trying to let you
wasps.
know I rule this motherfucker.
Is that how we should
Exactly.
Is that how we should cap
Yeah,
this off?
you just gotta have the wasp mentality. You gotta go in there and you gotta take it over. You gotta assert your dominance and die trying.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's one way to do it.
Yeah,
You make a good point.
yeah,
I mean, you know
that's
what?
the way.
Wasps can go fuck themselves. Maybe we can get rid of wasps and just take that essence of theirs that give near zero shits about others essence and just
Well, we did. That essence was born into our newest generation.
fair. Granted, though, I mean, I don't blame them. We
I
are.
mean, listen, if well, no, my grandparents are boomers, so I was gonna say if my grandparents were boomers, that would drive me to it. So I totally feel it.
Well, it's like that on top of like these kids have to like have a social presence at like a really young age, and that's like a thing that only like we didn't even start getting into until we were like
I mean,
about of the
I didn't
proper
even
age
start.
to be allowed to.
I remember like I was in high school during the time that they started taking out a lot of things and changing them out for newer technology. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess like we kind of went to school during the transition. Now all of these kids don't know the before. Like they have only ever been in the
Yeah.
Yeah, I
complete
mean they're
technological fucking world. And it sucks. And like everybody being so hateful, like my own grandparents,
right.
my own parents have said things along the lines of you fucking millennials and fuck all of you. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
y'all literally raised us.
You are the reason we are who we are. You can't.
So of course, if there's anybody I'm gonna be mad at, wouldn't it be y'all?
Yeet.
Because you created me and now you're mad.
Well, yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like it does something to the brain to like feel like you constantly have to be online and have this almost like second life of yours online. Cuz I mean, think about it, how these kids are like
And
probably spending almost all of their free time trying to just like work on that presence whenever they could be doing kid stuff, you know?
right, like they could be going and I don't know, like I used to go to the baseball park and talk to all the other fucking people at the baseball park. But in place of doing that now, we just hop online and get in chat.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the equivalent, but it's not even close to the same thing.
Yeah, we as a society, as a well, really as a world, like we make exponential growths in technology on a day to day basis. But I guess like I guess we really
I
should
don't
probably
think it's a
start.
terrible thing per se, but
Hmm.
we definitely need to be wise with ourselves.
I think
Yeah.
we as a whole have
Yeah.
a moderation problem with social media.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just human nature. We just have a problem with moderation and anything at all.
Oh
Ever.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's self control. It's a part of yourself that it's not it's something you gotta like learn for yourself and learn how to control. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Using
So
yeah. What's
yeah.
up? What's up,
So
Ollie?
holes.
Holes.
Cool.
Holes. A great a great spark for woke and topical conversation.
It
You should
is,
go see it.
and the fact that it's woke and also child friendly for
Yeah.
I'd probably say like the majority of kids.
Dude, is borderline child friendly. You could someone get shot like
Well,
directly off screen at one point, which is insane. But like the dude really deserved it in this
that's
case.
true, but there isn't
But
any.
that's just the '90s.
There's no boobs and there's no shoulders or
Mm-hmm.
none of that bullshit. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
the fuck y'all are scared of. I don't know.
I'm not scared of anything. What are you talking about? Except wasps. I said that this episode.
Just what?
Just wasps.
No, I ain't scared of praying mantises because I heard that they fly, and now I can't even.
Dude, I'm scared of praying mantises because apparently the females just off the dudes after they get their
Yep, they
kids.
just rip the head off and
Oh,
start nomming.
just heartless.
Savage, no cap.
Yeah,
You know what? And that is another great example of female empowerment in our society.
the praying mantises
It
are
is.
like the black widows insects.
You know, you're right. Because, like,
That's true.
spiders aren't insects. So, the 100%.
Yeah.
You're on it.
I did pretty okay in science for the most part.
It's the craziest thing, and I don't think that they explain this to you as a kid whenever you ask over and over again, why is a spider not an insect? It's just literally because of how many legs it has.
Yeah,
It's
which is like weird.
It is very strange how we...
That feels a little ableist to me, but okay.
Wait, what?
It feels like God was like favoriting some of these things a little much.
So it
But-
feels a little ableist that they can't be bugs, like just because they have too many legs.
Well,
Okay,
no,
sorry.
because you got to classify them with all the other things with the same amount of legs. Because, well, I guess most insects have 3 sets, and then the spider's got the 4th, and then a few other things that are
And then there's a
arthropods.
snake.
You know, actually thinking about it, I took that class on bugs. I'm pretty sure all I learned was like how we classify bugs. I don't think I actually learned anything else about bugs.
Yeah.
Just enough to like tell people.
I'm
dumb
sure
shit.
Jeff has a PowerPoint for you if you really want to learn.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I may have already seen it. I lived with him for a few years. I've seen many a PowerPoint.
Oh God, I've seen too many PowerPoints.
Blame our school. They prioritize using all forms of Microsoft Office with every fiber of their being. I had to make so many PowerPoints as a kid, and I hate it. I straight up don't even list that I know how to do PowerPoint on my resume because I'm like,
before I know he's gonna kill me. So don't let him put a PowerPoint up at my funeral. Don't let him do it.
this, guys, is why you should give a shit that Kriss is dead. I don't know. I'd kind of like to see that one.
Like here's
I would too. Like, I wonder what the slides would be and what order they would be in.
I don't know. They would be like, found a girl. Oh, she ended up being a little crazy, and then I killed her. And here's a PowerPoint about it.
I mean,
My first female relationship.
we're either boring or crazy. So I mean, you just gotta pick your poison.
I feel like, yep, that sums it up. Because if you're not crazy, you probably are a little blank.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, oh god, that's just a diving board into a whole other fucking social thing, and we're already about an hour and done with the interview at the review at this point, so maybe we should just save it. Oh fuck. Holes.
Honestly, I didn't even realize you were still recording the whole part.
Oh yeah, I'm still recording. Bye.